Behind me, just one of so many examples of utter destruction across Los Angeles.
So far, the Palisades fire has burned more than 20,000 acres. Now, to put that in perspective, that's larger than Manhattan.
Firefighters in Los Angeles are warning that increasing winds could potentially result in explosive fire growth from the existing wildfires.
As Los Angeles finds itself ravaged by a raging wildfire, the once vibrant neighborhoods now lie shrouded in thick smoke, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Homes that once stood proudly are reduced to ashes, memories turning to dust as families are forced to evacuate in a harrowing scramble for safety. The devastation is rife, echoing through the streets as the sounds of sirens wail, and the air hangs heavy with despair. To that, the people of Los Angeles are in our thoughts, as well as many across the world, and we hope for a fast solution to this turmoil. Amid the chaos, a chilling realization begins to ripple beyond the borders of California. Cities with similar climates and weather conditions are in growing concern, understanding that they too are vulnerable to the same fiery fate. But there's much more that puts them at risk than just hot temperatures and dry climates. Today, on Across the Globe, we're going to be looking at 10 cities with the greatest risk of fire. Number 10, Reno, Nevada. Reno, Nevada, often referred to as the biggest little city in the world, is located at the base of the majestic Sierra Nevada mountains, a stunning backdrop that offers both natural beauty and outdoor adventure. However, this picturesque location also places Reno in a precarious position concerning wildfire risks. According to the city of Reno, living among the foothills in Reno is known as living in the Wildland Urban Interface, or WUI. They noted how years have shown that fire danger can exist all year round and not just in the scorching summers. They stated that while lightning strikes account for many wildfires in the region, most fires are caused by people, and they can spread very quickly. However, sometimes they are simply caused by rising temperatures. In Southwest America overall, the extreme wildfire season is projected to increase by more than 20 days per year, most of which will occur in the spring and summer months. According to Climate Check, heat risk in Reno is high and drought risk is significant. They noted that around 74% of buildings in Reno are at risk of wildfire, and the risk level for these buildings is high. They noted that the number of days with the most dangerous fire weather conditions in Reno is expected to increase through 2050. By 2050, people in Reno are projected to experience an average of about 41 days per year over 94.5 degrees Fahrenheit, or 34.7 degrees Celsius. So, exactly how hot does it get there? Well, on the hottest days of the year, the temperature usually reaches 39-40 degrees Celsius, 102 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And the record is 42 degrees Celsius, 107.5 degrees Fahrenheit, set in July 2002 and July 2007. Extended drought periods can create an environment highly susceptible to wildfires. The Truckee watershed, which contains Reno, has experienced 930 weeks, 78% of weeks since 2000, with some of its area in drought of any level, and 290 weeks, 24% of weeks, since 2000, with some of its area in extreme or exceptional drought. On top of this, the strong winds that often sweep through the area can quickly spread any spark into a raging inferno, threatening urban areas and the natural landscape alike. These winds have been known to reach over 80 miles per hour in some locations. Number 9, Denver, Colorado. Denver, situated in the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains, is a city of just over 716,000 residents nestled in the heart of Colorado. Colorado is notorious for its frequent and intense wildfires, with 1 million residents in levels with elevated risks. The state has seen many shattering fires, such as the Hayman Fire, northwest of Colorado Springs in 2002, which burned 137,760 acres. The Cameron Peak Fire in Larimer County in 2020, which burned 208,913 acres. And the 2021 Marshall Fire in Boulder County, which caused more than $2 billion in damage, burning a staggering 6,200 acres in one night. However, Denver itself has long been regarded as a city that is shielded from such risk due to its urbanization. Yet it's not completely out of danger. Its history is marked by several significant fire events. One of the earliest and most devastating was the Great Fire of 1863, which swept through the fledgling city, destroying numerous buildings and underscoring the vulnerabilities of urban areas to fire disaster. More recently, the Hayman Fire of 2002, though situated in the surrounding forested area, dramatically affected the Denver region, leading to significant air quality issues and emphasizing the interconnectedness of wildfires and urban centers. These incidents serve as stark reminders that despite its urban character, Denver is susceptible to the impacts of nearby wildfires, particularly in the face of climate change and increasing temperatures that heighten fire risks across the state. Although Denver was chosen by Architectural Digest in 2023 as the most climate-resilient city in the U.S., as of 2025, the Denver Fire Department still considers wildfires as an ongoing threat. The Mile High City is bordered by extensive natural areas, including the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, which are densely populated with combustible vegetation, such as pine and scrub oak. What's more, Denver's climate, characterized by hot summers and periodic dry spells, can create conditions that are conducive to wildfire ignition, especially with the increasing frequency of prolonged droughts attributed to climate change. Denver receives an average of 14.48 inches of rain per year, which is considered arid. The city can get very hot in the summer, with temperatures often reaching over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or 37.78 degrees Celsius. Lastly, since the turn of the century, Colorado has experienced several years of severe drought. In fact, 2002, 2012, 2018, and 2020 were some of the driest on record. If we look further back, Denver saw its longest dry period between 1893 and 1905. Number 8. Spokane, Washington. Spokane, Washington, a vibrant city in the picturesque landscape of eastern Washington, faces an escalating risk from increasing wildfire activity in the region. As climate change intensifies, the number and severity of wildfires across eastern Washington have surged, primarily due to hotter, drier conditions and prolonged droughts. The Washington Department of Natural Resources, DNR, fights about 900 wildfires each year, and about 70% are in eastern Washington. Notorious examples of past blazes include the Great Fire of 1920, which was one of the largest forest fires in American history, the Lime Belt Fire, which originated as 3 separate fires that burned together, and the Carlton Complex Fire, which began as 4 lightning strike fires. This alarming trend places cities like Spokane in a precarious situation, with a striking assessment revealing that approximately 31,150 properties in Spokane Valley are positioned at some risk of wildfire over the next 30 years, an overwhelming 92% of all properties in the area. According to Spokane Conservation District, in the Spokane region, fire has long been a natural part of the environment. Here, it's not a question of if a wildfire will happen, but rather when they will happen. The city is surrounded by dense vegetation, including forests and grasslands, which provide ample fuel for fires during dry spells. As climate change continues to exacerbate hot and dry conditions, the likelihood of ignition increases. Spokane has had several dry spells in the past, including a record-breaking 74-day dry spell in 2017. The city receives an average of 17 inches of rain per year, which is below the national average of 38 inches. Number 7. Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho, a city known for its breathtaking scenery and outdoor lifestyle, faces significant risk from wildfires due to its geographical location and climatic conditions. Situated at the foothills of the Boise Mountains, the city's proximity to the expansive, dry, sagebrush-covered lands of southern Idaho creates an environment susceptible to ignitions from lightning strikes and human activity. In recent years, Boise has experienced significant wildfire events nearby, serving as stark reminders of the dangers posed by encroaching flames. In 2024 alone, Idaho had more than 1,400 wildfires, burning nearly 1 million acres. The majority of the burned acres were in the Boise and Payette River Mountains. According to the Idaho Conservation League, a wet spring led to significant early season growth, coupled with extreme heat in July, and a series of lightning storms that sparked fires as tracked across the central part of the state. For this year, Idaho's wildfire suppression costs were estimated to be around $51 million. This cost included fires that burned state land, as well as some fires that burned on federal land. Things are projected to get worse as well. There are 13,275 properties in southeast Boise that have some risk of being affected by wildfire over the next 30 years. This represents 99% of all properties in southeast Boise. The main thing to note here is Boise's average annual precipitation of just over 11 inches of rain and melted snow creates a challenging environment regarding wildfire risk. This relatively low amount of moisture means that the region dries out quickly, particularly during the hot summer months when temperatures rise and evaporation increases. Number 6. Salt Lake City, Utah. Salt Lake City, Utah, situated at the eastern edge of the Great Salt Lake and framed by the majestic Wasatch Mountains, is a vibrant urban center that also faces significant wildfire risk. The city endures hot and dry summers, when temperatures have soared up to 42 degrees Celsius or 107.6 degrees Fahrenheit, creating conditions ripe for fire ignition and escalation. Its proximity to rugged, wildfire-prone mountain areas exacerbates this threat, as dry vegetation and steep terrains can allow flames to spread rapidly from the wildlands to urban neighborhoods. Recent years have seen alarming trends in wildfire occurrences in the region. By August 2024, $28 million had been spent fighting almost 1,000 wildfires in Utah, with about $7.2 million shouldered by the state. In July 2024, the Sandhurst fire broke out near the Utah capital and quickly grew to more than 200 acres. Fire crews battled to save homes in Salt Lake City when the fire became relentless. However, this was mild in comparison to 2007, when 1,385 wildfires ignited across Utah, burning nearly 650,000 acres, becoming the largest wildfire to date in Utah's recent recorded history. So why is this state so prone to wildfires? And how is this densely populated city not as shielded as you would think it is? First off, the city is surrounded by a wildland-urban interface, WUI, which is the area where human development and undeveloped land meet. In these transition zones, where human development encroaches upon natural landscapes, the potential for wildfires increases dramatically. The dense vegetation, shrubs, and trees that characterize wildlands can serve as a significant fuel source for fires, while homes and infrastructure nearby become vulnerable to being ignited by flying embers or direct flame contact. When speaking about the wildfires ripping through LA's hillside neighborhoods, Tyga Rohrer, the Deputy State Fire Management Officer of the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Land, stated that with the right conditions, Salt Lake City could pose similar threats. He said, "You have a very receptive fuel bed, a very large population, and a lot of opportunities for fires to get started." Number 5. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Santa Fe, New Mexico, huddled amidst dense forests and surrounded by a dry, arid climate, finds itself at considerable risk of wildfires, a threat that has manifested tragically in recent years. The combination of abundant forest foliage and limited rainfall creates an environment where fires can ignite easily and spread rapidly, threatening both the lush wilderness and the city itself. This vulnerability is not new. Santa Fe has faced devastating wildfires in the past, including the Las Conchas fire in 2011, which scorched thousands of acres, and the more recent Hermit's Peak fire in Calf Canyon/Hermit's Peak fire in 2022, which collectively devastated over 150,000 acres. During the dry summer months, Santa Fe is particularly vulnerable to wildfires, as average temperatures soar into the high 80s during the day and dip only into the mid-50s at night, creating the perfect conditions for fire hazards. The warm, dry weather not only desiccates the vegetation, but also accelerates the accumulation of dead plant material and other combustible debris in the narrow slopes of the surrounding cliffs. These slopes, characterized by steep terrain and dense forest cover, are susceptible to significant fuel buildup. As the dried fuel accumulates, it creates an environment ripe for spontaneous ignition, particularly when coupled with flashes of lightning from summer thunderstorms, which can spark uncontrollable fires. Additionally, strong winds that often accompany these storms can quickly spread flames, making it challenging for firefighters to contain any emerging blaze. Number 4. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada, located in the Mojave Desert, is a city famously known for its entertainment, nightlife, and striking desert landscapes. However, this vibrant metropolis faces significant wildfire risks due to a combination of extreme heat, low humidity, and the rapid expansion of sprawling suburbs that infringe upon the surrounding arid terrain. Over the years, Nevada has seen many catastrophic fires, such as the Cedar Fire, which began in April 2002 near Cedar City, eventually crossing into Nevada, leading to extensive damage, including destroyed homes and widespread devastation to wildlife habitats, and the Gospel Fire of 2006, which occurred in northeastern Nevada and resulted in significant damage to local ecosystems. The fire threatened communities and prompted evacuations. To combat such events, in December 2024, the Bureau of Land Management Nevada announced a $1.79 million investment to reduce the risk of impact of wildfire to Nevada communities through the Wildland Fire Community Assistance Program. But why are these wildfires so frequent in Nevada? According to The Guardian, temperatures in Las Vegas are rising faster than almost anywhere else in the US. And for the 2.3 million people who call this valley home, the danger the heat brings is hard to ignore. They stated that shadeless streets are hot enough to cause second-degree burns in seconds. During the sweltering summer months, temperatures can really skyrocket, with July seeing average daily highs of 40.3 degrees Celsius, and August closely following with an average of 39.4 degrees Celsius. This creates an inhospitably dry atmosphere that easily ignites dry brush and vegetation. To make matters worse, Las Vegas simply doesn't get enough rain. On average, the city receives about 5 inches of rain per year, which is far less than the national average of 38 inches. The low humidity levels further exacerbate the situation, allowing fires to spread rapidly through the tender dry desert landscape. As suburban developments extend closer to these natural areas, the proximity to flammable materials increases the likelihood of wildfires. In January 2025, as fire raged on in California, parallels were drawn between the Golden State and Nevada. With no measurable rain in Las Vegas since July 13, 2024, and only 0.03 inches of rain seen in Los Angeles since May 6, 2024, people in Las Vegas became very concerned that a similar situation could be looming for them, particularly as 2024 saw Las Vegas's warmest summer on record. Number 3. Phoenix, Arizona. Throughout history, there have been many wildfires in Phoenix. For instance, in 2020, the Bush Fire roared through national forest lands northeast of Metro Phoenix and became the 5th largest wildfire in Arizona history. Known as the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix is a bustling metropolis set against the backdrop of the Sonoran Desert, where year-round sunshine and stunning landscapes attract residents and tourists alike. However, this lively city faces an escalating risk of wildfires fueled by a combination of factors. July is the hottest month in Phoenix, with an average temperature of 33 degrees Celsius. Yet things can get a little more scorching than that. The highest temperature ever recorded in Phoenix, Arizona was 122 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius, on June 26, 1990. There's no doubt that this kind of heat can create arid conditions that leave vegetation parched and highly susceptible to ignition. As expansive neighborhoods continue to stretch further into the wildlands, the proximity to natural fire fuels significantly heightens the danger. According to Axios, over half of Metro Phoenix properties have some level of risk associated with a wildfire in the next 30 years. They reported that Arizona is experiencing the same drought as LA, and its high temperatures have set records for both summer 2023 and summer 2024. Couple that with the fact that in 2023, Phoenix experienced its driest year since 1895, and it's easy to see why people are getting worried. Number 2. Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon, famously known as the City of Roses, is situated in the heart of the Pacific Northwest, a region celebrated for its beautiful landscapes, vivacious culture, and abundant natural beauty. However, this picturesque city also contends with a long history of devastating wildfires that have shaped the surrounding forests and ecosystems, such as the Tillamook Burn, which was a series of catastrophic wildfires that ravaged the Tillamook State Forest 50 miles west of Portland in the 1930s and 40s. The most infamous of these fires occurred in 1933, consuming approximately 350,000 acres. In 2024, Oregon's wildfires cost nearly $250 million, which is about 2.5 times the amount budgeted for wildfire response. As of 2025, the threat still looms large. According to AP News, wildfires in Oregon burned more acres of land in 2024 than in any year since reliable records began. These blazes scorched more than 1.4 million acres, or nearly 2,200 square miles, 5,700 square kilometers. Although much of Portland is an urban metropolis, it's also surrounded by vast natural landscapes. According to Portland.gov, the city is at risk from wildfires, and these blazes can be dangerous and difficult to control. Firstly, Portland's steep topography allows fire to spread quickly. The abundance of plant life provides fuel for fires, and the city's dense population and many structures in wildland settings make it difficult to evacuate residents. Number 1. Austin, Texas. As a state, Texas is at a major risk of wildfires. So far, in 2025, there have been 22 wildland fires in Texas, amounting to 196.1 acres burned. If we zoom in on Central Texas, Austin ranks the 5th highest metro in the country whose homes are at heightened risk levels. 94,673 homes are at moderate or greater wildfire risk, with a reconstruction cost value at $40.6 billion. This means only areas of California are more at risk. From 1980 to 2024, there were 190 confirmed weather/climate disaster events with losses exceeding $1 billion each to affect Texas, with drought events being the most frequent at 20. Austin is situated in the heart of Central Texas. It's a booming city known for its live music scene, cultural diversity, and sprawling green spaces. However, its picturesque landscapes are increasingly threatened by a risk of wildfire activity, fueled by the dual forces of urban sprawl and prolonged drought conditions. The city is currently in stage 2 of a severe to extreme drought. The drought has affected the Highland Lakes, which supply drinking water to Austin and nearby communities. As the city expands, encroaching development has transformed natural habitats into manicured lawns and subdivisions, often leaving behind dry grasslands that serve as prime fuel for wildfires. However, the city of Austin has been making big strides to mitigate such risks. In October 2023, Austin approved a contract between Austin Energy and Pano-Al for technology services to assist with early wildfire detection. The 5-year, $3.2 million contract signified the first time the technology was used in Texas. What about 10 cities Americans don't want to move to anymore?